The heart of your teams. The heart of Ohio. Valley Sports Ohio. The heart of the fan.
From the banks of the Ohio, it's round 2 between the Cincinnati Reds and the best of the West, the Seattle Mariners, 2 teams with playoff hopes. A pleasant good evening. Welcome on back to Reds Baseball alongside our captain, the Hall of Famer, Barry Larkin. I'm John Sadak. And Lark, happy debut day to you and to the newest Red. Welcome to the big leagues, Connor Phillips.
It really has been amazing how these young players have all come to Cincinnati and been so impactful. It's been really positive. Another guy, Connor Phillips, getting his opportunity, his debut. Now, he's a 96 to 98 fastball guy with the wipeout slider. He's working on a breaking ball as well as a changeup. Another high-velocity prospect. We're looking for good things from this young guy today.
Of course, the layer drama that he was the player to be named later in the Suarez-Winker trade from the Mariners. And, oh yeah, his counterpart tonight, arguably his best friend in baseball, Bryce Miller, an outstanding rookie phenom for the Mariners. They're both from Texas. They're longtime friends. They're going to go head-to-head. Well, the Reds are looking to get ahead early. The offense arrived yesterday.
Yeah, this is the way you would really like to have it happen. You like to score early, take some pressure off this pitching. This is what we were able to do. You can see 5 runs in the first 2 innings yesterday. We are used to coming from behind and winning late in ball games, but yesterday was a nice little bit of difference. Get out early and hold on to the lead.
There's nothing wrong with a blowout here or there, with a boat race, as they say. We'll go to break. When we're back, Jim Day on the way with a look at what David Bell called an organizational win. The details when we're back.
Baseball Valley Sports Ohio brought to you by DHL Supply Chain. Now hiring a wide range of salaried, managerial, and operational roles. Apply today at joindhl.com. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Cincinnati. And by Skyline Chili, feeling good. It's Skyline time.
These are really extra special. It feels like so many players, so many pitchers contributed. Even going, it's been there's been a lot the last few days, and it feels to me like an organizational win,
The organizational depth tested like perhaps never before, at least in a playoff push. And let's face it, the Reds, with all the injuries and the COVID list, they are holding it together with chicken wire at this point. The numbers are astounding. You check out our Bounty quick stats. 25 roster moves since the beginning of the month, 19 of which are pitchers. 7 pitchers used last night in the 6-3 win. Last 3 games, Carson Spires, emergency replacement from AA. TJ Antone, first game in 2 years. Michael Marriott, first game on a big league mound since 2016. It's all about Reds' resiliency at this point.
Shout out to the pitching staff. They've done an unbelievable job these last couple of days with how many guys have gone down, and guys keep stepping up for us and pitching like they've been here all year.
We're just trying to pull together, be together. We all have the same goal. It's definitely been a tough couple of days in that regard. But these guys are coming in, they're stepping up, doing everything they're asked of, and doing it in a professional manner. And that's all we can ask.
And despite it all, they have won 3 of the last 4 games, and they're going after a series victory tonight against one of the best teams in the bigs. They'll dip into that organizational depth once again. It's debut day for Connor Phillips.
Welcome to the big leagues, Connor Phillips. Top 5 prospect for the Reds, splashes in the show against the team that drafted him into the professional baseball ranks. Western and Southern breakdown between AA and AAA for this 22-year-old.
Yeah, what a year it has been for him. He's had success everywhere he's gone. Disregard the record, right? It's all about development. This young man is pitching AA and AAA. He is a fastball pitcher. He understands this is who he is. This is what you're going to see. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider. He's got a curveball and a changeup that he's working on, but he is a competitor.
He'll face the team that brought him into pro baseball, second rounder by Seattle in 2020 when he was the top JUCO arm in the draft class. He became the player to be named later in the Jesse Winker Eugenio Suarez trade, and the former Red Gino Suarez not in the 9 for the Mariners. First time all year he'll come off the bench for Scott Service. The Mariners co-lead the American League West. Full 9 from Rally House, Crawford, Rodriguez, Rally, Hernandez, Canzone, France. Ford went deep yesterday. Caballero fills in at third for Suarez, who had a throwing error in yesterday's series opener, and old friend Josh Rojas. Well, Crawford excellent getting on base, did so with a hit and hit by pitch yesterday. Knocked one in and scored a couple of times. Second time in 3 days a major league debut from a Red starting pitcher. 97, strike one. That is his primary pitch. That fastball lived at 95 in the minors. He was up to 97.5 Thursday. At AA, he was fairly dominant. At AAA, he began better, then had a rough patch and is coming off perhaps his best effort at that level. Struck him out. 3 straight heaters. And he edges the black up and in. The backward K to get him underway.
Told you he's a fastball pitcher, and this is what you're going to get. Be ready.
Julio Rodriguez, his one hit yesterday, his 25th homer, became the first man in baseball to have 25 bombs, 25 steals in each of his first 2 big league seasons. High lift to left. Friedel in, De La Cruz out. Friedel makes the play. Reds defense. Friedel originally was in center. Hunter Renfroe a later scratch with tightness in his hamstring. Harrison Bader the addition, now flanked by Friedel and Will Benson. On the infield, Noelvi Marte, Ellie De La Cruz, Spencer Steer bombs in back-to-back games, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Luke Maile. Cal Raleigh's got 25 homers. He came off the bench yesterday, went 2 for 2. '99. Rock to right. Foul. When Phillips first got to AAA, his first 6 starts, he had a sub-2 ERA. His next 4 went very poorly. Thursday at Omaha, he was great. 6 scoreless, 3 hits, all singles. Now, walks were his concern. He walked nearly 7 per 9, but he gave up only 1 homer in 40 1/3 innings at AAA. In the dirt. And there's the changeup. That's the finish pitch to his arsenal. That's what he's trying to polish up and get a greater consistency, landing it for a strike, and ideally more speed differential with that fastball.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, John. You know, power pitcher, because that's what he is. Developing that feel for the changeup. It's probably the last thing that comes in the development. It's understandable.
Now, he did begin this at bat by snapping off a very nice looking curveball against Raleigh. Slider was his best breaking ball to get strikeouts. Breaking ball in. Raleigh winces on that foul.
Looks like that ball possibly hit him off the top of the, maybe the top of the knee. How about right in the thigh?
Down and in. Phillips spent the last couple of months in AAA as a 22-year-old in a league where the average age is 27. Now he's on the biggest stage. Appeal, no go. He laid off that breaking ball in. 2-out walk. And now he battles with a very hot hitter, Teoscar Hernandez. Base hit yesterday. He's hit safely in 13 straight. On base in 19 in a row. In the on base run, hitting 400. Good smother by Maile. Phillips, the latest in a line of young players making an impact. He's the 4th rookie in 5 games to start for the Reds, the 16th Red to make his major league debut this year. That's the most in baseball. Maile pounces, keeps Raleigh at bay. Center field. Bader. Gone. The 25th for Teoscar Hernandez. That's his 3rd straight 25 homer season, 4th time in his last 5.
Yeah, that's the fastball that's right over the plate, and doesn't make a difference how hard you throw. You don't execute the pitches if you live over the middle of the plate. These big league hitters will make you pay.
The trident the Mariners rock when they hit homers. Dominic Canzone has doubled and struck out in the series. High lift right field. Benson. First inning in the books for Connor Phillips. It starts with a strikeout. Mariners take the lead. Former Mariner Jake Fraley leads it off for the Reds. Full 9 from Rally House. Friedel, Steer, De La Cruz, Encarnacion, Strand, Benson. Bader the addition with Hunter Renfroe scratched due to left hamstring tightness. Marte and Maile. They take on another rook, the Western and Southern breakdown on the hard-throwing Bryce Miller.
Another rookie that throws a lot of fastballs. How about 61% of his pitches? That fastball variety sits about 95 miles an hour. Slider, sweeper, sinker, as well as a changeup.
First pitch fouled back. Fraley, since coming back to play through injury, playing on a broken toe, 5 for 12, 3 doubles. Had a walk yesterday. And he gets hit. Oh, no. And hopping in pain. He gets first base in a way that someone playing with a broken toe does not want. Hit on the foot.
We have seen that. I think yesterday's ball game, there were 3 guys that were hit by pitch, all in the toe. And yet another guy.
It is his left 4th toe that he is playing with that fracture in. TJ Friedl was hit by pitch, had a base hit, had a sacrifice yesterday. Opposite way. Foul to the seats. Miller began hot and is hot. He had a gem against the Tigers in his 3rd big league outing back in May. He went 7 scoreless, 3 hits, no walks. Fouled back. At that time, he had allowed just 8 total base runners through 3 starts. It's the fewest of anyone in their first 3 starts as far back as the records go, to 1901. That's with a minimum of 15 innings pitched. Bounces home. Command clearly off here for Miller. In his last 5, his ERA just above 2.5. The team has won 4 of those 5 games. That includes a no decision Wednesday against Oakland. Mariners won that game 5-4. Called strike 3. Friedl thought it was tight.
Changeup right there. Looks like it was tight. See that tumble effect? That's frustrating as a hitter, especially a contact hitter. You see that ball in, you see it off the plate. Incredibly frustrating.
Ball 1 to Spencer Steer, and that's one of the working elements, though, of Cal Raleigh, the primary backstop for the Mariners. He ranks 8th among all catchers in framing. The amount of runs that he has saved for his team by getting calls. Steer, a 3-run homer, part of a 5-run surge by the Reds to begin yesterday's game. He has homered in back-to-back games for the 2nd time this year. He has not yet homered in 3 consecutive games in the big leagues. Hard foul. You mentioned the fastball usage for Bryce Miller. 61% of the time it's a 4-seam fastball. Only Justin Steele of the Cubs and Michael Kopech of the White Sox use a 4-seamer more often than Bryce Miller. And while it can be a very effective pitch, that is where the biggest damage is often done. Of his 14 home runs allowed, 11 have come off his primary pitch.
Yeah, well, you think about it, the 4-seam fastball, it's up most of the times at the top of the zone. If you touch it, that's the ball that has the best chance to get out the ballpark.
Fouled off Steer, who's hobbled.
I've had some wonderful chances to speak with some Amazing hitters. Looked like that was a two-seamer right there. Down in the zone. Reggie Jackson. Whenever I cross paths with him, he's like, that ball is up in the zone. You're not trying to lift it, are you? I said, no, sir. He said, all you got to do is just touch it. It's already elevated. Just touch it.
Something he did 500+ times.
A lot of times. So that four-seamer up in the zone, just touch it.
Late time granted. And you just touched on something, Lark, about that foul. Much like yesterday's starter for the Mariners, Brian Wu, in season Miller has incorporated a two-seamer to help keep righties honest. He'll try to bust it in on the right-handed hitter. Center cut target. Wanted a bat from Steer.
Just going through my mind of what a skill it is to foul off pitches. Stay alive long enough to get yourself one that you can handle. It's a skill. Wears down the pitcher, gets the pitcher thinking.
This is the 8th pitch of the plate appearance. Breaking ball hung a bit, rolled to short. Crawford hesitates. Second one, they still turn two.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, no bad blood. You know, I think this was a great thing for my career being over here. But I want to go out and beat those guys, you know, it'd be nice.
It's amazing how baseball works sometimes. When the guy goes into the game, the ball will find you. Well, he makes his major league debut against the organization that traded him to the Reds.
Small world, Jimmy. Thank you, sir. Miss low to Ty France. And how about this from the Mariners? The Mariners organization began the team an expansion squad in 1977. Not too far away from being half a century. Phillips, the first man drafted by the Mariners to make his major league debut against the Mariners. 3-0. Low 4-pitch walk. Now Mike Ford, couple of hits yesterday, an infield single and his career high 15th home run. Five straight out of the zone. Phillips from Greater Houston went to Magnolia West High School. He took his talents to the junior college ranks to McLennan Community College in Waco, Texas. Former Red Logan Ondrusik came from there. So did Jay Buhner, Pat Listash, and the former Bearcats basketball and football player, the late Rod Monroe. He has alternated breaking balls and fastballs this AB. Struck him out. Fastball up.
Got to chase on that fastball. You got to get ready for this heater. Once you commit, you just can't stop.
Jose Caballero. He fills in for old friend Gino Suarez at third base. Just his 4th start at that position this year. His first since the 5th of July. Suarez had started every game on the year before today. Overwhelmingly at third. And Caballero joined the Mariners much like Gino did. Through trade, it also involved a blast from the past. He was drafted by the Diamondbacks, but dealt at the 19 deadline for Mike Leake. I love the body language there of Luke Maile and the pre-pitch target that he set up.
Confidence. And I think these young pitchers need that. They need to have a backstop back there that is encouraging them and saying, let's go. You got this. And I think that's what Tyler Stevenson, Luke Maile, I think that's what you get from those guys. You need that, especially with all these young pitchers we have here.
To left field, Friedel angles back. He's got it on the track. France returns to first, 2 down. Josh Rojas worked a walk, 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts at yesterday's opener. The fastball was authoritative and effective early. Things seemed to swing in the Cal Raleigh at bat. He launched a high, long foul ball. Later rallied to work a walk. 0-2. The fastball finished Ford. It helped him against Caballero. 0-2 to Rojas. Sharp breaking ball, strike 3. Our FanDuel same game parlay. Christian Encarnacion Strand. Uribe could have come this inning. He's due up second. Your turn. Head to the FanDuel app. Check out the odds. Create your own live same game parlay. If you had Joel doing the chicken dance while we were away, winner. I don't think that's in the app. Fastball strike to Elly De La Cruz. Who had a strong showing yesterday. Base hit, drove in a run, walked a couple of times, scored a run. Changeup strike in the upper third. De La Cruz 4 for 11, couple of ribbies his last 3 games. He was 3 for 24 with 1 RBI in his prior 6 affairs. One, 2. Inside, he thought he had it. A little bit of peacock strut there on the mound. That's very similar to the pitch that got Friedel.
Yep.
That looked inside. Full count. They aggressively shade him to pull. Third base, no defender. Opposite way, base hit. Against the grain goes De La Cruz. Lead off base knock.
Nice job of hitting right here. See how he stays behind that baseball? That's a good swing right there.
You're seeing better signs these last few days.
I really am. I really am. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. Less movement. Obviously, with his long limbs, he's going to have some movement, but he's stopping.
He goes on the first pitch. Foul back, strike one.
Putting on the brakes, getting in good hitting position, and staying behind the baseball. Now, something that will be spoken about in the future is, listen, if I get a great jump and I'm stealing, we would much rather you hit them with runners in scoring position than taking a swing when Ellie gets a good jump at first base. You have to be comfortable with taking at least a strike.
He goes again. Pitch up, throw down. Out.
Really nice job by Rojas right here, catching that ball. And the important thing is his glove is moving down while he's catching this ball. On a short hop, a lot of times as a middle infielder, we work from underneath the baseball, so we work from down to up. That's one of those instances where you want to work up to down because you have to get the tag down on the ground.
Opposite way, base hit.
Ball inside right here. Keep your hands inside the baseball. A little more protective. Good bit and hitting.
De La Cruz nabbed for just the 7th time and 31 stolen base tries. Fastball away to Will Benson. And Benson down in the low 260s now, 0 for 2 yesterday. He's 2 for his last 17, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks in that time. Feels like he might be due. Raleigh, by the way, is one of the bigger weapons behind the plate. His pop time is top 30. It's a 1.96. Good, above average. His arm strength is excellent. He's just outside the top 10. And I think that shined in that caught stealing. And it seemed like he called for a higher than high pitch on purpose, an almost modified pitch out, assuming he would go. Swing and miss. Nice slider. Now, one of Miller's greatest weapons, the fastball, doesn't just have velocity. It's the vertical break and the way that it seems to rise or at least stay elevated to the hitter. Crack to right center. 3 straight hits begin the second.
That was loud right there. That ball was blistered. Good swing, Will. The crack of the bat. That was that right there.
All 3 hits this inning have come on the 4-seam fastball from Miller. So the Reds have hit his primary pitch for singles to this point. Now it's Harrison Bader, not in the original lineup. He is 1 for 7 to begin his Reds run. For Bryce Miller, bases empty, hard to touch him. Men on, you do a bit better. Men in scoring position, that's fairly high considering his overall success. Chopped to short, Crawford. Second one, Bader can run. Stays on the bag. Double play. The upcoming weekend at the Reds game Friday night after the Reds take on the Cardinals. You can enjoy a spectacular fireworks show presented by Rossi Fireworks. Get your tickets now, reds.com/tickets. Top of the order for Connor Phillips. He has struck out 3, walked 2. The 2 runs on a homer by Teoscar Hernandez. J.P. Crawford was the first big leaguer that Phillips faced, and he struck him out. That was a fastball up and in. Rolls through the right side. Julio Rodriguez has flied to left. Left field, Friedel. Brief message now from Rally House.
Get ready for kickoff, Cincy. Rally House has the game day gear you're looking for, including Bengals sideline gear and the latest college style.
Cal Raleigh has walked and scored. He launched a loud, tall foul down the right field line his first time. Shade some of his most noteworthy moment as a Mariner so far. That was when he punched the postseason ticket for Seattle. A pinch hit, 2 out, bottom 9 walk-off homer to end the longest playoff drought active at the time in North American's Big Four sports. He stood in for Luis Torrens. He worked a full count against Domingo Acevedo of Oakland. And the Mariners were playoff bound for the first time since 2001. Downstairs. Before Raleigh's efforts, the last Mariner team to go to the postseason had rookie Ichiro. Edgar Martinez, one of the core bats. Lou Piniella, the skipper. Good looking pitch, delayed, called a strike. Also on that team was David Bell. He would then be dealt to the Giants and part of another playoff push, that to the World Series the next year. He said that season in particular taught him a lot about the power of team chemistry. Now, you played for Lou Piniella, but in the Reds jersey, he gave a lot of praise to Piniella for knowing when and how to push buttons, and that the togetherness mattered.
Yeah, I think that was one of Lou's greatest strengths. Is his ability to communicate and know who to prop up and who to beat up. There was a lot of beating up at the time. Lou was no joke. He's great.
Part of that 1990 World Series. Mariners, the only team to never get to the World Series. This is a great at bat from Raleigh. Eighth pitch of the AB, ripped to right, Benson breaking, he's got it on a slide. Crawford reverse field, throw goes to second. Will Benson takes one away.
Little top spin on this line drive right here. Will Benson working underneath it. Using that speed. Nice play.
That was 108.9 off the bat. Teoscar Hernandez, a two-run homer. Rips through an elevated breaking ball. StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud.
Hernandez got a fastball, I believe it was, out over the middle of the plate. These big, strong guys, they get those arms extended. The ball is going to travel. So you have to figure out how to get them off balance. How to take away their space.
So Phillips has induced two kind of silly looking swings on that sweeper. Could see Hernandez wanted to swing. He chased that one way up at the start. Bent the knee on that latest one down and away. Struck him out. Fastball with life away. 4 strikeouts for Phillips. Our storylines presented by Elk & Elk. The Reds 12-1 against the AL West this year. Unblemished in one game against the Mariners. Who would have thought the one loss would be against Oakland?
Yep.
And that was a walk-off. Noelvi Marte was one of the Mariners' top prospects. One of the many sent to the Reds via trade. Grounded to Crawford. Pirouette throw way offline. Marte arrives safely. That's going to be a base hit.
got a guy that can run. So as a shortstop, you catch this ball up the middle, and all you're trying to do is throw the ball in front of the first baseman and allow him to make a play. Just unfortunate off the line. But we practice that play, and speaking of practicing that play, we saw Elly De La Cruz working on the field a little earlier today.
Runner goes, great jump, pitch called a strike, throw down, got him. Second Red caught stealing in the early stage.
Yeah, Noelvi Marte got a great jump right there, but rally. And did Rojas put his foot in front of the bag? He took it away. But that throw, so important to throw the ball on the second base side of second base on the stolen base attempt.
And Bailey follows with a base hit. Now the Reds have had the leadoff man on at all 3 innings. And at all 3 innings, that man's been retired while on the bases.
Good swing. Look at the eyes. Luke Maile. You talk about staying behind the baseball. That's a great swing.
By the way, that's the first time Marte was caught stealing. He had begun 5 for 5. Fraley hit by pitch his first time. He got hit on his injured foot. Reds have been hit by pitch 9 times in the 5 days of this month. No other team has been hit by pitch more than 4 times since the calendar flipped to September. Holds back the check. Appeal confirms. Well hit to right. That's down and trouble to the corner. Maile sprinting for third. House eye ball. The windmill is on. Maile sent in. Relay from Rojas doesn't come. Maile crosses standing. RBI double. Jake Fraley. Reds on the board 2-1.
A lot of balls down and in to Jake Fraley, and this is the reason why. If you throw him a ball elevated out there, he's going to get extended. And that ball hugs the corner. I thought there was going to be a play for Luke Maile, running all the way from first base. But Rojas comes up thinking third base. If he's throwing to the plate, there's a play at the plate.
Friedel first pitch, chops a foul. Nice attempt by Colin Cowgill.
The reaction of Luke Maile coming to the dugout was classic. It was, I can't believe I just scored from first as a catcher type of look. Teammates were laughing. It was a good moment.
Many times they walk into the dugout. Oxygen.
And now the Reds have the tying run in scoring position. Bailey was in scoring position, it turns out, at first. Friedel struck out looking first time, a pitch that he thought was in off the plate. Caballero shallow. Friedel to the left. Canzone fades back. He's got it. Well, Spencer Steer, who saw 8 pitches, bounced into a double play his first time. Steer leads the Reds in homers and RBIs. Since the RBI became a stat in 1920, only twice has a Reds rookie led the team in both homers and ribbies. Called strike. Grady Hatton did it in 1946. And Ival Goodman in 1935. Fouled into Raleigh's glove. Each of these pitches, Fraley has taken a very large secondary lead. He's had such an exaggerated lead. If his foot were healthy, I think he might be stealing third.
He's always done a nice job of really working hard on the bases to try to have his momentum going towards the next base on that secondary lead.
And you wonder how much of it right now is he thinking about cheating a little bit to make sure that he can score from second on a base hit.
Yeah.
And clearly the toe does bother him when he runs. He is playing with pain. I just noticed Mr. Red just casually lounging in the sun deck. Just a few rows across from the foul pole and right, about 2/3 of the way up. Just hanging out.
Yeah, I see him out there.
Low. Steer walks. Visit time for Miller with Elly De La Cruz due up. 35-year-old pitching coach Pete Woodworth. Well, Seattle has had the best team ERA in baseball for a long span of time, but their starters have struggled of late. The Mariners have lost 4 of 6. It's a rarity coming off the best month in franchise history. Their starting staff's ERA in that slide, over 6. De La Cruz was down 0-2 early, rallied to bring it full, and served a single opposite way. Inside. Miller has tried to establish that fastball in. He got a generous strike 3 on a pitch like that against Friedel. He has not commanded it. He's been far more effective with that slider down and into lefties. But they can also turn on it if you miss. Fouls back the rising fastball. Another full count engineered by Elly De La Cruz.
And that was a really good take right there. We've seen Elly, when he struggles, offering at that pitch. He was in good position. It was a good take.
2 on, 2 out. Fraley and Steer go. Bounced foul. He's already fouled off 3. This will be the 8th pitch of this AB. Step off, no throw. Crawford cupping his glove to his ear to hear pitch come. Timeout, De La Cruz. Pickoff throw into the runner. Fraley's the most banged up guy playing, and he's getting banged up on the field. A pitch off his injured foot, now a shot to the rib cage. Runners go. Sent to second, backhand. Rojas makes the play. Our T-Mobile coverage cam looks at the pregame prep.
Elly was out there working. You see Freddie Benavidez right there working with Elly and trying to get Elly to play the ball, stay behind the baseball, try to catch the ball a little further out in front. And it's a consistent, constant work in the lab, trying to get better as much as you can. Late in the season to be out there working on the small fundamental things, but that's what you're going to have to do in order to make it in this league and be there for a long time.
Always trying to get better. Canzona's flied out. Something raining down on the Reds bullpen. As we showed Elly in that shot in the background, you can see multiple relievers seemingly looking up. Now it's the infield looking up. Maile. One down. Major league debut for the 22-year-old Connor Phillips. Allowed a homer in the first, worked around leadoff men that reached an otherwise silent second and third innings. Ty France walked to begin the second. Phillips got the next 3 in order. That's the first strike for France. Called strike. Sales out of play, foul. The Reds have won 3 of 4, 4 of 6. The Seattle club began the day co-leading the American League West. After this series, of the Reds' last 20 games, all but 3 will come against teams that have losing records right now. The exception will be Minnesota. The other favored American League trading partner, the Cincinnati Reds. Payoff. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts for Phillips.
Really mixing up his pitches well. The four-seam fastball, and this time going to the breaking ball for strike 3.
Change-up strike to begin Mike Ford. He struck out his first time. Could not hold back a check on an upstairs fastball. Nice breaking ball. Strike 3 called. Reds in a 1-run game against another team with eyes on the prize of postseason play. Very happy 60th birthday to the Cowboy, our closer, Jeff Bradley. He's got a Coca-Cola. His booth is really decorated. We were in there hanging out for a bit, having some dinner tonight.
We were. His favorite, some barbecue, collard greens.
You were in stunned disbelief.
Rice and beans. I opened up the fridge. And it is completely full with a beverage of his choice. I mean, completely full.
Might be a certain soda, the version you can find south of the border with real sugar. Encarnacion Strand.
So my question to Cowboy was, Cowboy, do you drink coffee? He said no. I get my caffeine in other means.
Well, my favorite was our friend Tommy Thrall, who calls the games on the radio with Cowboy, then pointed out that he was given some guff by folks in facilities here at the stadium asking him about his own imbibing of this soda product. And he said, oh, I don't drink that. I never drink that. Get the heck out of here. I have to restock this fridge every week. There are dozens missing. Do you mean to say that Cowboy drinks all of them? Yes. Benson is singled. What a great guy. An excellent player. He's awesome on the TV. He's a fantastic friend. Delighted to call him a partner, part of our team. He wanted to be a broadcaster before he wanted to be a player. His dream was to call baseball on the radio. And then he happened to become a major league player. And that was his vehicle, his route to getting into that booth next door.
Well, I had a chance to compete against Cowboy in college. We went down to Mississippi State. It didn't go too well for us. They did well. They went to the College World Series that year. They had Palmeiro and Will Clark, Bobby Thigpen. They were loaded. And then had a chance to compete against him and play with him here in Cincinnati. And boy, oh boy, it was so fun to play behind him. And he was such a competitor. And he took the losses hard and celebrated the wins and the victories harder. It was fun to play with Cowboy.
He had some big league hair too. Still does.
Yes, he does.
Up and away. I had a chance to meet Will Clark thanks to Cowboy. He came up to the booth a couple of times. He serves in a bit of an ambassador role with the Giants. Still talks to the guys on the field now and then. What a fantastic man, and you could feel their chemistry and connection. Now, the Reds have worked pitches out of Bryce Miller. They only have one walk to show for it, but they're fouling off pitches. They do have 6 hits. Only 1 for extra bases. High in the air, center field. Rodriguez way back on the track. He's got it. Long fly ball out. Bader has bounced into a double play. To right center, Rodriguez glides gap. Reds in order. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Reds. Connor Phillips threw 4 in his major league debut, 6 strikeouts, 67 pitches. He has retired 6 straight, 9 of 10. Jose Caballero is flying to left. Jim Day, when Connor Phillips got the call, he was in a rather unique and understated situation.
Yeah, picture this. He's sitting in a hotel room. He is crushing a Chick-fil-A sandwich. He's got half in his mouth. He's got half in his hand. Phone rings. It's Pat Kelly, manager AAA Louisville. His roommate, realizing what this call might be, starts to videotape it. And it's his call to the major leagues. He said it was not too flattering, but the call of his life nonetheless. Somehow there's a promotion in there.
And I believe, didn't he say something to the effect of to his roommate, never show that to anyone, never send that to anyone?
I attempted to get this video. I was denied. Big league sandwich.
That's great, Skip. He's here. 3-1. Hard liner caught. Noelvi Marte.
La esquina caliente, a hot corner. Ball gets there in a hurry.
That was just under 100 off the bat. Josh Rojas struck out looking his first time. Now, most of the Reds infield shades him to pull. Marte a touch shallow at a truer third, just in case he were to try to bunt. Now, the strike rate is going up for Phillips. The command has been cleaner. Seems like you mentioned some of the sequencing he was doing. There's a greater confidence and command to his repertoire. I mean, heck, we saw him get ahead on a first pitch changeup the last time he saw Ford.
Yeah, you can see the confidence just starting to build for this young man. Through 4 1/3, he has been some kind of impressive.
Up and in. It's the second time in 3 days the Red starter was making his major league debut. To right, Benson coming on hard. Has to play it on a couple of dribbles. That snaps the string at 7 in a row retired.
This ball off the end of the bat. It's kind of a tough read right here for the right fielder. You can see Will Benson is kind of going to his side and then seeing that that ball is not as well struck as the swing looked. It's because it was off the end of the bat. No real pace on it.
Top of the order, Crawford. He is struck out looking, singled through the right side. Check swing. Strike one. Lifted to right. Rojas through second. Benson scoops. Throws into De La Cruz, first and third.
Another ball not well struck this time, not off the end of the bat, but up the barrel. Crawford still able to get the bat head to it.
So back-to-back dink and dunk base hits that left the bat at 70 and 67 miles an hour. But the peril of facing Julio Rodriguez, Daniel Duarte warms in the Reds bullpen. Now Rodriguez has excellent power, something perhaps most displayed at the Home Run Derby, where he has composed some of the best single rounds in the history of the Derby. Incredibly explosive, repeatable swing.
Special talent.
He had mentioned yesterday the notion of his pure size. You got to see him on the field standing right alongside Noelvi Marte, who's a big dude.
Yeah, it looks like he's a couple of inches taller than Noelvi and maybe a few pounds. They got him at 6'4", 230. Big man.
Ball one. All four Mariners this inning have seen a first pitch ball. Reds ready to turn two with De La Cruz and Steer. Fouled away. The most unlikely of suspects have played critical roles on the mound for the Reds in just the last few days. Who would have thunk TJ Antone as a starter just days removed from his emotional return as a reliever? Michael Marriott pitching in the big leagues for the first time in 7 years was a day away from retiring while in indie ball, but he got the call. In the dirt, Maile blocks. Carson Spires was in the Double-A bullpen a month ago and was aggressive and effective just a couple of days ago against the Cubs. And now Phillips, who's been on the radar as a major pitching prospect and likely would have joined the Reds at some point, but I'm not sure it would have been here and in a start tonight. Circumstances have dictated and required all hands on deck for the Cincinnati Reds. And the organizational depth and strength has shown well. Crawford not really a base stealer. He's just 2 for 2. The lead man Rojas is a perfect 10 for 10. Start of this year, Connor Phillips was a Double-A. Now he's facing Julio Rodriguez with 2 on, 1 out in a 1-run game. Mashed to right center. Gone. Homers in back-to-back games for Rodriguez. A 4-run hole for the Reds.
Fastball out over the plate, and you know when you are trying to win a pennant, your superstars have to play super and come up in big situations. Rojas does his job. J.P. Crawford does his job just getting on base to set the tone for Julio Rodriguez.
That's the second appearance of the Trident. A 2-run homer by Hernandez, now a 3-run shot by Rodriguez. Raleigh has walked, scored, and lined to right. Now, Raleigh has seen a lot of pitches. First time up he saw 10, worked a walk. Last time up he saw 8 and whistled a line drive out at 109 off the bat. The lefty Chasen Shreve now warms. Two and two. Strike 3 called. 7 strikeouts for Phillips.
Nice tight slider. Way to bounce back.
Hernandez is homered and struck out. Swing and miss. Mariners in the driver's seat, driven by Hyundai. They have depth with their pop. Of the 30 teams in the big leagues, the Mariners one of 3 to have 3 men with 25 or more. Braves and Dodgers part of that puzzle too. And for the Mariners, most of their damage comes on the road. They play in an expansive stadium. Their power is slanted away from Seattle. Up the middle, off the backhand of Steer, made contact with at least the mound. Not sure if it nicked Phillips. Hernandez is on. Base hit. And here comes the manager, David Bell. He makes the move. The lefty can zone due up. Phillips done in the 5th. The major league debut of Connor Phillips comes to a close. Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. Connor Phillips, first big league start in the books. He struck out 7. Walked only a couple of men. 2 homers did the damage. His book's still open. He's responsible for Teoscar Hernandez at first base.
I thought it looked the big league. I thought it looked good. Yeah, unfortunately, just 2 swings. But I loved his attack. He's got great stuff, obviously. The punch outs on sliders as well as the heater. Just keep working, young man. Keep working.
Chasen Shreve, first pitch. That got the runner, it looked like. Throw to first. End of inning. If a Reds homer hits the Toyota hit and win sign during the game, the Healy Ayala from right here in Cincinnati wins this brand new built in the USA 2023 Tundra. Register for your chance at your Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Reds down 5-1. Noelvi Marte is singled. That was first pitch. Fastball at a fairly low velo, just 92 relative for Miller. Strike. Bryce Miller from New Braunfels, Texas, a suburb of San Antonio, went to New Braunfels High School. Swing and miss, fastball with rise. His longtime teammate through youth baseball through high school, who he grew up with in the same neighborhood, Orioles infielder Jordan Westburg, who made his major league debut against the Reds. Remember the driving rain, Brandon Williamson. All his buddies were wearing Westburg shirts behind the plate, screaming about him. They're longtime friends and teammates. Fouled away. What a small world.
Oh.
They were young kids in elementary school playing Little League together, and they're both highly impactful big leaguers with big-time teams that are making noise that they could be World Series challengers this year. So if you play summer ball, if you play in your backyard, and you and your friends have a dream, it can happen. Broke his bat. And it kicks on Rojas. Marte turns. Rodriguez throw. Hustle double.
Little confusion right here. That ball's on the shortstop side of second base. And credit Noelvi Marte with running hard out the box, understanding this to potentially be a base hit. But the hustle double. Nice job right there.
Scoring position for Maile, who singled first pitch to center. He drilled that ball back in the third. How about Marte, who began his Reds run 6 for 35. He is now, what, 7 for his last 19. And many of his outs have been loud. Now, somewhat under the radar, Marte and Tyler Stevenson have both gotten really hot. This is a Reds offense that needs someone to break out, to become part of that driving force. It was next man up for most of the year. Hasn't quite been the same since those back-to-back series against the Brewers, bridging the break. David Bell's club tied for that last wild card spot. In the dirt. Raleigh keeps Marte at bay. Marte breaks. Crawford shoots in. Throw on the run. Got him. Marte to third. One away. Brief message now from First Financial Bank.
Earn it, save it, grow it with First Financial Bank. Boost your savings with a high money market rate or CD rate. Visit bankatfirst.com or stop by today.
First! Jake Fraley aboard twice, hit by pitch, RBI double. The Reds began the day tied with the Diamondbacks for that final wild card spot, but a game back in the loss. Diamondbacks host the Rockies in about an hour. Brandon Pfaadt gets the ball for Arizona. Meanwhile, the Giants and Cubs continue to play each other, and that helps the Reds. Cubs in that second wild card spot. Giants have lost 4 in a row. And in between the Reds and Giants is Miami. Marlins have a heck of a schedule here and now and on the horizon. They lead the Dodgers 3-2 in the 7th. Way in, got him again, yes. And Fraley tosses the bat, immensely frustrated. He's playing on a broken toe and he's been hit by pitch twice. And it got him again in that injured left foot. Well, he'll stay in and run. TJ Friedl stands in at the plate. Strikeout looking, fly out to left. Caballero plays on the grass, shallow at third. Friedl, our Kia player profile. He has done well in interleague play. 30 games, hitting .336 with pop, driving in runs. Most recently had a huge series against the Angels. Mariners have Matt Brash up in their bullpen. Couple of sliders have gotten awkward swings from Friedl. Feel like he's seen that a lot these last few weeks, these sliders down and in. Another slider. Friedl does not bite. Series of signs flashed by J.R. House at third. Fraley on the year, a talented base stealer. We've not seen him try a swipe with the hurt foot. And there's Friedl. Hit. Runner's break, ball got away. Time. It got the bat. That's a foul. Wow. The rarity of some of the events that have happened to the Reds.
It's amazing.
That got him. He's hit by pitch, and he tosses the bat in frustration. The hit by pitches are piling up, and the Reds gifted another runner to load the bases.
See all these hit by pitches and guys getting hit on the toe and the foot. The way I interpret that is a commitment to pitching, right? So if you're going to throw in, you want to miss in. If you're going to throw down and in, you want to miss down and in. And they've done that for the most part. Obviously, you don't want to hit a guy in the toe. But if you're trying to make an effective pitch down and in, and you miss down and in, sometimes you're going to hit the hitter.
There were 4 Reds hit by pitch in yesterday's series opener. 3 have been hit by pitch in this game tonight. They have been hit by pitch 11 times in September when you combine the Cubs and Mariners series. So here's a chance for Spencer Steer, tying run at the plate. He has walked and bounced into a double play. High in the air. Foul down the left field line. Steer has seen Miller well. He worked 8 pitches before he bounced into the giddy-up that ended the first. He worked a full count before he drew his walk in the third. Strike 2. Just low. Struck him out on a fastball.
There's the four-seam fastball, just challenged him. Spencer couldn't catch up that time.
Elly De La Cruz. Strike 1. And strikeout of Steer, Miller's second on the night. In on his hands. De La Cruz, perfect bases loaded in just a couple of at-bats, a couple of hits, including a triple. He is singled and grounded out tonight. He's been able to fight off that four-seamer up a few times tonight.
Last time Bryce Miller threw a fastball up and in to Elly, went to the changeup. See if he goes back to that changeup.
Floated down the left field line, foul. Nice grab. rookie to rookie. De La Cruz, just 21 years old. Another fastball in, fought off. Brash continues to warm in the Mariners' pen. Miller approaching the century mark. To left field. Canzone tumbles down and makes the play. Not the cleanest, but it ends the inning.
Kind of twisted around out there in left field, but Canzone comes up with the catch.
Rally hat and sparkle. I like it. Grammy Award-winning band Lady A performs live at GABP this Saturday, part of the Ohio Lottery postgame concert series presented by Dunkin'. Get your game tickets and field passes now. Reds.com/concerts. First pitch strike from Shreve to France. Ty France has walked. He has struck out. We saw Matt Brash warming a couple of times for the Mariners. Now Dominic Leone has taken over loosening in Seattle's pen. Splitter gets the sweeping swing and a miss. Steer. One away. Ford is struck out swinging and looking. Able to lay off that split, 2-1. Low, 3 balls and 1 strike. And a walk. College students, bring the Reds to school with you. Attend a game, receive a free subscription to MLB TV. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Caballero is flying to left. He is lined to third. One and one. Hard foul, just wide of third. Soft poke. Steer the call. 2 down. Josh Rojas singled and scored his last time. He's also struck out looking. Rojas grew up in Arizona, went to Millennium High School, which is in Goodyear, Arizona. This high school just about 6 miles away from where the Reds and Guardians share their spring training facilities. Two and two. Splitter misses. Count goes full. Downstairs, appeal no go. Second walk on the inning. Casey Legumina getting up in the Reds pen. Pitching coach Derek Johnson. Crawford has singled his last 2 times, scored in the 5th. He has also struck out looking. That splitter just not getting the chase, doesn't quite seem to have the bite. Good block by Maile. They seem to be seeing both that sweeper and the splitter.
Yeah.
They've now been used nearly 20 times in combination. He's only gotten 5 swings. On deck, the man who can mash. He has delivered homers in each game on the series. Leone is ready in the Mariners pen. Legumina still prepares for the Reds. Runners go, foul to back. Ford and Rojas off again. Swing and miss. Strikeout for Shreve. Scoreless inning.
Catcher and does so much more for the Reds. But 200 pediatric kids from Children's Hospital here in Cincinnati and their families who are battling pediatric cancer had a parade around the field, and they were here because of the Singley Strong Foundation, which Joe Singley started in honor of his dad, Joe. Joe's family on the field as well for the ceremony. Joe Singley, the dad, passed away not long before Joe Singley joined the Reds organization. It was in the final months of Joe's dad's life that he said were the most important he ever had with his father. And it was during that time in which he received so much support, whether it be financial or just attending events like a baseball game, that he said were crucial, that he wanted to give back after his father passed. So the Singley Strong Foundation provides support for those families battling cancer through meals, events, and financial assistance. And talking with Joe Singley about his father, he meant everything to him. And if you would like to support it, log on to the SingleyStrongFoundation.org.
Well, thank you, Jim. Joe, a huge part of this Red staff, and his family very much in our thoughts. Encarnacion Strand to left. That's gone. He begins the 6th inning with his 6th home run of the big leagues. A rude greeting for Dominic Leone.
The location of this breaking ball basically just hangs right there. And Dominic Leone, fresh in the game. Point for the good guys.
Leone is one of the many put on waivers by the Angels. Mariners made the claim within the division. It's a homecoming for Leone, who first cracked pro ball with Seattle. This marks his 4th organization this year. First got into the big leagues as a Mariner almost a decade ago. Hard ground ball, backhand smother. France leads Leone to the bag.
Good play by Ty France, and Leone busting it to the bag. Will Benson can run.
Harrison Bader fouls back strike one. He has bounced into a double play, flying to center. And Leone began the year minor league deal with Texas. Became a free agent, went to the Mets. And while he had time in the bigs in Queens, he had major issues with homers. Angels picked him up right before the deadline. He gets strikeouts, but he does walk a lot of men. To right field, Teoscar Hernandez. Bader flips the bat. 2 down. And the home run's the biggest concern. 45 innings on the year entering this game. He had allowed 10, make it 11 with the mash by Encarnacion Strand. Noelvi Marte, a couple of hits, including a hustle double on broken bat contact. Slider down. Well hit to left. Gone. The first major league home run for Noelvi Marte. And it comes against the team that traded him to the Reds. A pair of Reds rookies go deep, and Cincinnati draws within 2.
Have yourself a day, young man. Noelvi Marte has just really been swinging the bat so well, playing well defensively as well. Hopefully we can get that baseball back. You're going to see a lot of those in this Reds uniform. And young man can play.
How about De La Cruz and Encarnacion Strand with the towels on, greeting Marte, congratulating him on his first big league bomb. Luke Maile a singled, score to ground it out. That left his bat at nearly 108. He can hit the ball hard. His greatest individual skill on the traditional scouting report was labeled as his power. That's his first home run, but he has been showing that power if you've been watching these games for a couple of weeks. Some of his other hits, some of his outs have been annihilated. He had a line drive out yesterday to shortstop that was the hardest hit ball by a Red all year, and I believe their 4th hardest in the StatCast era. That's going back almost 10 years now to 2015. Fouled off Raleigh, who's doubled over. Athletic trainer out, manager Scott Service. Oh. Well, Raleigh understandably takes some time. Legumina continues to warm for the Reds. Raleigh going to stay in there. Gabe Spire is now up in the Mariners pen. He is one of the two lefties in Seattle's pen. Bailey walks.
Talked about Noelvi Marte and his ability. You mentioned his power. He's been hitting the ball hard, just hasn't had the elevation. And that was another line drive that just got up high enough. But this young man does hit the ball hard. And he's swinging and playing with a lot of confidence.
Well, Scott Service has come out and made the move. He'll go to the lefty Gabe Spire. Will David Bell make a move and yank back Jake Fraley? Who runs the Reds? Rookies. Noelvi Marte, one of the latest to the party. His first homer in the big leagues, talking it over with Elly De La Cruz, who's had some great at-bats himself tonight. Reds have the tying run at the plate. Seattle goes to a southpaw Gabe Spire, so David Bell yanks back the lefty bat of Jake Fraley and sends up Hunter Renfroe, who was originally in the lineup and scratched with tightness in his left hamstring. Renfroe's got pop. Strike one. Yesterday, he got his first two hits as a Red, an RBI single. He also walked, and he lined to third. Strong day at the plate. Now, the original lineup, he was in right field. He enters the game here as the DH. Hard foul. Only two Reds have ever seen Spire. They're imports from the American League via the waiver wire. That includes Renfroe, who struck out looking against him in the last month. Matt Brash again up in Seattle's pen. Derek Law readies for the Reds. Bailey goes low, and Renfroe walks. And here comes Stuart Fairchild to run for Renfroe. David Bell makes another move. Friedel yanked back. Nick Senzel stands in to pinch hit. Strike one. Senzel, a pinch hit single in the 6th inning yesterday, finished 1 for 2. Driven to right. Hernandez back on the track. He's got it. Reds get a couple of runs, and Encarnacion Strand and Marte lead the yard. Solo shots by Encarnacion Strand and Marte have allowed the Reds to tie the record most bombs by rooks in a single year in franchise history. 54, first recorded in 08. The heavy lifting that year, Joey Votto clubbed 24. Jay Bruce drilled 21. Nick Senzel stays in the game to the left. And a pitching change with Derek Law in.
Very successful so far for Derek Law this season. Did take the L and lost to Chicago on Sunday.
Up and into Rodriguez, who homered his last time.
Last time out, he struggled. Gave up a couple of hits, 3 earned runs.
They did not record an out in that appearance. The Cubs clobbered the Reds 15-7. That was a 5-5 draw until that 7-run 8th inning. Full count. Opposite way, Benson watches. Clangs foul. Well hit to right. A 2-home run day for Julio Rodriguez. Deficit swells back to 3.
Oh, you saw Derek Law trying to throw Rodriguez in, and this is the reason why. He extends on that fastball out over the plate. And the yard will not hold him.
The third time that he's had a multi-homer game. Did so in Minnesota late July earlier this year. Did so versus Atlanta September of last year. Raleigh to left. One down. Hernandez is homered, singled, struck out. Marte. 2 away. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Shimmy on down and get ready to get lucky at Miami Valley Gaming.
Awesome.
Joel bringing it. Ball 1 to Canzone. The Mariners began the day in a tie in the American League West. It's shaping up to be a 3-horse race. Seattle, Houston, Texas. Texas, though, is in a tailspin. Losses in 13 of 17. The bullpen has been horrendous. And tonight, right from jump, it's Houston. A 9-0 lead. They are in the 3rd inning. Framber Valdez pitching for the Astros. He's been stellar. Nathan Eovaldi made his return. Failed to get out of the 2nd inning. That falls foul. And Jose Altuve is 3 for 3 with 3 homers in the 3rd inning. Rip to right. Base hit. Benson's got it. Canzone shuts it down at second. Standing double.
Canzone has a very quick bat. He's just missed. He had a couple pop-ups the other day where he just missed them. That pitch up and in. 96, I believe it was. He gets the bat hit to that ball.
Ty France gets hit by pitch. That's the 30th time he's been plunked. It's by far the most in the big leagues.
Thank goodness for protective gear. Disperses the pain, but it doesn't take it away. Still does not feel good.
It's the most times hit by pitch for anyone of the bigs since 16. He's just the 10th man in the modern era, going back to 1900, to be hit by pitch 30 times in a season. Slowly rolled. De La Cruz. Rodriguez launches again. Reds need to rally down 3. Our FanDuel same game parlay discussed on Reds Live. Jake Fraley's got his double. CES Ribby, yes sir, he left the yard. Spencer Steer, he needs 2 total bags. He is leading things off in the home 7th. He'll face a new pitcher. Matt Brash is on.
Matt Brash, 25-year-old right-hander, 4-pitch pitcher. See, he's getting a lot of burn this year. 66 appearances. the most by a reliever. He throws a lot of sliders. He's got a fastball that sits at 98 miles an hour, curveball, as well as a cutter.
Steer has walked. He's 0 for 2. He's bounced into a double play and struck out swinging. Man, that's some arm action. Soft strike with the slider. There was some kind of violence to his fastball delivery. Way in. Now, Brash was a player to be named later in a trade from the Padres. Coming up, he had mostly started. But when he got back to the big leagues, his strikeout numbers exploded working in relief. You can see why. Now, he does walk men. But he gets swinging strikes. He gets swing and miss.
I think that would qualify as electric right there.
Slider away, struck him out.
And you don't see this much from Spencer Steer. But that looks to be a very uncomfortable at bat. Long stride. Gasoline coming out that hand.
Slider down to De La Cruz, who has singled, grounded out, lined out. Well, Brash uses that slider the most, and that's been hard to hit. The big league's hitting 165 against it. But that fastball, as much velo and zip as it seems to have, big leagues have hit 333 against it. They've also crushed his curveball and his cutter. The slider is a dominant pitch. 3-0. Legumina ready in the Reds pen. De La Cruz has had a series of excellent at bats. Works a walk.
Ellie's had a very good night tonight, John. I think it's just because he is seeing those pitches. He's getting in a much better hitting position tonight specifically. We've seen it the last few nights as well.
Encarnacion Strand floats one to second. Benson 1 for 3. Single to center. He's flied to deep center, and he's grounded out to first. De La Cruz caught stealing once tonight. Brash has allowed 3 home runs all year. 2 have come in the last 2.5 weeks. Both against the Royals. Lefties have seen and hit him far better than righties. Average jumps about 70 points. The on base nearly 100 points. Routine left. Canzone. Cincinnati Reds baseball on Bally Sports Ohio is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by TriHealth. Healing begins with a doctor who hears you. Learn more at trihealth.com/behealed. Beautiful night by the river. Casey Legumina is back at a big league mound, first time since mid-June. Sam Haggerty is the pinch hitter. Fouled away, 1-1. This is Legumina's third go-round with the Reds this year. Had time briefly in April and a long stretch from late April until June the 20th. De La Cruz one down. And Legumina had IL time with a right ankle bruise, and most recently was on the IL for almost 50 days, pain in his right shoulder. Justin Topa warms for the Mariners. Fastball strike to Josh Rojas. Senzel unable to bring in that ball on the fly. Never breaking stride. Rojas claims second.
Up the handle. That's it's really a tough play for anyone to get a great read on. Senzel extended. Saw a few balls in this game today fall in front of these outfielders. Full swing, you hit it off the end of the bat or up the handle a little bit. Tough read.
Crawford 2 hits, a run scored. He has struck out twice. Legumina gets ahead. Reds are going to have the bottom third of the order due up in the home eighth. The bench position player wise is now just Nick Martini and Tyler Stevenson. Some of the major stories in this series, the pieces acquired through trade on each side between Seattle and Cincinnati. Legumina joined the Reds in the trade with the Twins for Kyle Farmer. A walk for Crawford, who's one of the best in the game, drawing free passes. Julio Rodriguez has gone deep his last 2 times.
Yeah, you try to crowd this guy because if you let him get his arms extended, this is what happens. Another fastball from Derek Law out over the plate. He didn't quite get that one, but plenty of power.
High fly, center field. Bader. Bluff tag at second. And now Cal Raleigh, who has walked and scored, he's 0 for 3. Also has one of the best nicknames going into the game, the Big Dumper. That was first announced by fellow Mariner Jared Kelnick when he welcomed him to the big leagues on Twitter. Driven to center. When asked why, he says, "It's my backside." You can help people affected by disasters online at redcross.org by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or text Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Old friend Eugenio Suarez enters the chat. He takes over at third base. Did not start for the first time all year. He has still now played in every game for the Mariners. New pitcher, Justin Topa.
6'4" right-hander, 32 years old. 4-pitch pitcher. He's got that fastball, sits at 95. There it is right there. Slider, cutter, and a changeup.
Drop that arm slot. Bader pops it up. Now, Topa's path to the big league unique. He grew up in Binghamton, New York. Very small town where the Mets AA team has been for a long time. Was drafted somewhat late, 17th round by the Pirates. But he wound up released 4 years later and rebuilt himself in indie ball. He went to the Can-Am League, pitched for the Rockland Boulders. Minor league deal with the Texas Rangers. He was a Down East Wood Duck. Minor league deal with the Milwaukee Brewers. Slings that wide. He got traded for a fellow minor leaguer from the Brewers to the Mariners this past January. And here he is on the big league mound for Seattle. Behind second, Rojas. Bader's 0 for 4. Marte's last time up, his first major league home run. He is 3 for 3. Kevin Herget, just back from AAA, warms in the Reds pen. Before this homestand, Marte did not have a multi-hit game. He had 2 in game 1 of the double dip with the Cubs. So far, a 3-hit night. Could he achieve another career first and make it 4? Payoff, and he works a walk. With Luke Mailey's spot due up, Tyler Stevenson prepares to hit. And it looks like Nick Martini will be on deck. Stevenson aboard 3 times yesterday, doubled twice, had an RBI, also reached on error. Smokes a foul. If you've been watching Stevenson's at-bats over the last month plus, you've seen the contact. The numbers match the eye test. He is just outside the top 5 in the big leagues in average exit velo since the calendar flipped to August. Most pronounced in his last 2.5 weeks. The average has exploded over 370. The OPS is over 1100. Just about all of his contact has been loud. Is he standing a little more closed?
No, I think he's in the same position. I just think he's maintaining that position. We're not quite right behind the umpire, but I feel like he's in the same position that he's been hitting from.
Lined and past Suarez. Another solid smack for Tyler Stevenson. Tying run comes to the plate. It'll be the pinch hitter Martini.
Yeah, he's just been doing a lot of that right there. Swinging the bat well and really see how he's maintaining his position. Really swinging the bat well.
Pitching coach Pete Woodworth out to chat with Topa. They discuss strategy on the pinch hitting Martini. David Bell has now emptied his bench. Every available position player has been used. And just in case, Alexis Diaz dragging his cleats in the bullpen.
He's not down there raking?
No, he's not warming either.
Oh, okay.
He almost seemed to mentally be going through the process. Daniel Duarte is now going to grab a ball and actually throw. Topa has still thrown more balls than strikes. Seattle's closer Andres Munoz is up in the Mariner pen. Lifted to right. Could it go? Martini off the bench ties the game. The Rally Reds strike again. They have roared back to draw even at 6.
Jonathan India and TJ Frito at the top of the stairs cheerleading. And these guys just keep coming at you, John. It's amazing how so many different people have been so impactful for this team, both on the mound, with the bat. That togetherness, it's been some kind of fun.
Bunt try. Strike 1. Senzel pinch hit, flied out to right field in the 6th. The Reds have not known a lead in this game. They were down 2 before they even grabbed the bat. It was 5-1 going into the home 6th. And here they are, even at 6. Munoz continues to warm, but now he has a friend at his side, Isaiah Campbell. There have been so many moments this year where crazy things have happened with this Reds team that have felt like they were meant to happen. Suarez on a hop.
As I said, so many people, and Nick Martini, who does so much for this club on the field, but in the clubhouse as well. Just a great personality, really brings the clubhouse together. He comes off the bench just ready, and he's done this a few times so far this year. It's nice to see him have success.
Yeah, this homestand, he had the tying home run against the Cubs in the ninth. Reds had back-to-back ninth-inning rallies to turn deficits into wins in walk-off fashion. 2-0 on Steer. Three and 0. What do you think?
Green light him, absolutely.
He swings, grounded to Suarez.
Love that swing, Nicky Martini. Tie ball game.
Join the Reds on Saturday. They battle the Cardinals. Fans in attendance can add to their collection a Nick Lodolo bobblehead. Might be acting it out right there, courtesy of Every Watch Has a Story while supplies last. Wagging tongue might not be included. Enter Alexis Diaz in a tie game ninth inning.
Not a save opportunity, but high leverage nonetheless. Get us to this bottom of the ninth unscathed and win this ball game.
Strike one to Teoscar Hernandez, who has homered, singled. His hit streak to 14, is on base streak at 20. Yeah, this is what most teams are doing now. Tie game at home, closer in the ninth.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's because this is a situation where he would be pitching. You figure if you go to extra innings and you win it, he won't get a chance to pitch. So this is his opportunity to get out there, get his work in, and be done.
Three and one. Misses low. Leadoff walk. Post game, whenever this one wraps up, Reds Live brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. BG and Chris will have the full breakdown. Major League debut for Connor Phillips. The rally to this point, perhaps a dramatic finish with a flourish. Tyler Stevenson in the game as the catcher. Canzone doubled his last time. He's 1 for 4. Ball one. Swings through the slider. Marte was shallow at third. Canzone has never executed a sacrifice, minor or major leagues. Hard foul. Out of town, the Giants lead the Cubs. They have rallied in this back and forth game. Giants were up 3-zip. Cubs put a 4 spot on the board, took the lead in the 3rd. It's now 6-4 Giants as they're in the 7th. Ripped to center. Bader swiveling the hips. That looked like a DB drill in football camp. Ty France hit by pitches last time. He has walked, struck out, grounded out. Up and in. Fastball by him. It is Andres Munoz, the Mariner closer, warming by himself again. Tapper, De La Cruz. Could he turn two? Steer. In time, double play. The Reds could walk it off. They go bottom 9. De La Cruz, Encarnacion, Strand, and Benson.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Seattle will retain their challenge.
Pinch runs for Ty France, who has now reached on fielder's choice. So man on 2 down, runner goes, pitch away, throw down, kicks away from De La Cruz. Steer races to back it up. Nice sliding effort by Steer that at least keeps Moore at second.
Very aggressive right there, Dylan Moore, wasting no time. And here's why he was as a pinch runner at first base. You can see Ty France beating that double play pivot.
2-0 on Ford, who's 0 for 3, a walk, a couple of strikeouts. He is grounded out. Two and 1. So Moore has his 6th steal in 8 tries. He's been a double-digit steals man in each of his first 4 big league seasons. He's a go-ahead run off second. Appeal, no go on the slider. Ford has shown discipline on those breaking balls. He did chase on the fastball up from Phillips in his first at bat. Check swing that went too far. Way in. Ford collapses down, hit by pitch. Clutched at his left knee, and he is in obvious pain. Athletic trainer and manager out. The Mariner closer Munoz once again warms. 3rd different time we've seen him up. Ford's going to stay in the game. So that brings up Eugenio Suarez for his first plate appearance tonight. Suarez did not start for the first time all year. He has played every game for the Mariners. He was 0 for 4 last night, including a strikeout. He has the most strikeouts in the majors. Four straight Mariners have seen a first pitch ball from Diaz. Appeal? No. 2-0. Way outside. Suarez has delivered for Seattle in big moments. Swinging 3-0, center field, Bader. Now bottom 9. Can the Reds walk it off? Reds baseball on Bally Sports Ohio is brought to you by Jake Sweeney, serving the tri-state for over 100 years. And by Western and Southern, put their financial strength behind you. Walk-offs in back-to-back games at the expense of the Cubs. They have 43 comeback wins this year. The Rowdy Reds lead baseball in that regard. Only the Twins have more walk-offs than the Reds, 9. Can they make it double digits? They'll have to do so against the Mariners' more recently anointed closer. It is Andres Munoz.
24-year-old Andres Munoz, 2-pitch pitcher. Throws a lot of sliders that sit at 88 and a fastball that sits at 99. So get it ready, boys.
Reliever of the month in the American League in August when he became the closer. That was after Paul Sewald got dealt to the Diamondbacks. But his fastball is not the same as it was. Last year it was 100 plus. This year it's 98. The slider last year the league hit 126. This year it's leapt up 100 points. He's very good. He's not quite as dominant. Ball 1 to Elly De La Cruz. Dylan Moore, who came on to run, remains in the game at first base. Two and 0. Of the Reds' 9 walk-off wins, 4 delivered by rookies. Steers had a moment. Encarnacion Strand, McLean, and Marte. De La Cruz does not have one yet. Three and 0. Swinging 3-0 to short. Crawford, tough play. Safe. Infield hit.
Definitely safe at first base. But you can see the defense playing Elly to pull. This ball hit to the right of J.P. Crawford at shortstop. Really not much of a chance with the speed of Elly De La Cruz.
He has been caught stealing tonight. He has not been caught stealing more than once in any big league game yet. Fastball zips in, strike 1. Encarnacion Strand is singled and homered. He went deep to beat the Blue Jays in walk-off fashion. De La Cruz goes. Pitch swung on a miss. Thrown out. Tails badly. De La Cruz stole second.
What speed can do for you.
Acrobatic effort by Rojas to keep that ball from sailing to center. That's 25 swipes for the rookie, Elly De La Cruz, showing his passion. He popped those hands together after the infield hit and after the swipe. Grounded right side. Windmill is on. Hernandez from right center. Reds win! Walk-off of the year, and rookies at the core once more.
Oh, this is such a treat to watch these young guys out here performing. Elly De La Cruz getting himself in the scoring position after beating out an infield base hit. And then Encarnacion Strand coming up with the big base hit with Elly on second base. But let's go back to Nick Martini with the big 3-run bomb to tie this ball game. Good gracious, it's been fun watching these kids play.
The only Reds lead of the night is the final score.
And we talked about Encarnacion. Look at, he sees that ball down and away, and it is just a very short swing, seeing that that is wide open. I'm talking about wide open, the speed of Elly De La Cruz, that's wide open. Safe easily, and the celebration.
Think these young men have fun playing baseball?
This is an absolute treat to watch these guys on a daily basis.
Giant victory for the Reds. They have secured the series against Seattle. Most comeback wins for a Reds team in over a decade. They have now won 4 of 5, make it 5 of 7. It is a wild card chase. Couple of the heroes, CES Nick Martini with my hero Jim Day.
Thanks, John. How about the Rally Reds? All right, Nick, big situation. You're still trying to endear yourself to a new team, a new fan base. Take me through that game-tying 3-run home run at bat.
It's just a guy I knew that liked the slider, and I was just trying to put a good swing on something. Unfortunately, had enough to get out.
Is there something magical going on with this team right now, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, we're young, got a lot of energy. We have some veteran guys too as well that teach us as we're going along the way. It's an incredible atmosphere to be in.
Now, when Elly's at first base, are you swinging intentionally when he's stealing there, or are you trying to get a pitch to hit? And then what's your mindset there when he's trying to steal? Christian, I think I saved you there because he couldn't do the double dip. That was Senzel getting Martini there. All right, I got to interrupt the question here. How'd that feel?
Cold. But back to what you were saying, Christian's always swinging. Don't let him try and tell you something different.
Always swinging. All right. Always swinging, but when he's on second base, you're just trying to put the ball in play there, knowing Elly's speed, he can score on many balls put in play.
In all honesty, with Elly on second, yeah, I'm just trying to put the ball in play and get him to second or get him to third, because then if I don't do it, the next guy's going to do it.
How special is this for you, Nick? We've talked about this before. Just personally getting this chance again.
Always special. I mean, I don't take a day in the big leagues for granted. And to have a chance to contribute here on a winning team in a playoff race, it'll always be special for me.
And he is known now as the team funny man. We're going to get that funny man in the future. Is he?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's good. Good clubhouse guy, and obviously good at the plate. Rally Reds, do it again. Stay with us. More to come here on the home of the Reds, Valley Sports Ohio. Reds walk it off yet again.